And in Europe, the European Union has proposed to debate Manipur. Now, Manipur is a sensitive issue. It is certainly our internal matter. It's important to note here how the Ministry of External Affairs has postured itself. It says that Manipur is an internal matter to India. This is India's statement to the European Union. It says, ahead of a planned debate in the European Parliament on the situation in Manipur, India on Wednesday said it has been made clear to the parliamentarians that this is a matter absolutely internal to the country. A motion for a resolution on Manipur situation was tabled in the Brussels-based EU Parliament, and it was scheduled to be taken up later. Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra, Indian Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra, said that the European Union parliamentarians concerned are being reached out, and it has been made clear to them that it is a matter absolutely internal to India. A little bit of a warning vibration in those statements as well, Varghese. And I understand that this is an internal matter to India. And
it is an internal matter of India, and I think it is our issue. We are not poking into the affairs of other nations as well. So I think European Parliament should leave.
But how can a tenuous situation like Manipur not make the heads turn across the globe? I mean, people are free to form their own opinions.
They are free to form. See, we are not restricting any foreign government or institutions from having their own opinion about it. But what we are trying to say is that, when it comes to how to deal with the matter, it is the government of India that will take the decision, and the local government will take the decision on it. Since it is an internal matter, we are not asking them how to rein in their issues in Europe. We are not asking them how to rein in their issues in France. We are not telling them why the riots are happening. We are not talking to Europeans about how they have to be more benevolent to immigrants while they treat them like caged animals when it comes to putting them on islands that have been having a huge lot of police to restrict them from getting into the mainland of Europe. We are not telling them to do what. We are, if we start pulling up some of the human rights violations that are happening in the so-called democracies, I think that would be an issue that we're dealing with.
I mean, let's
no,
not
my point is, I'm saying that, this colonial mindset, is just too much about it.
Hear me out. All I'm saying is that, when youngsters are carrying out, those gun assaults in the United States, when these Sudanese factions are fighting, people in India do form an opinion. People in India do talk about it.
Kabir,
we then, open that door to a conversation about gun laws in India. We then open a door about conversations how we start comparing societies. I'm not saying call each other out. You can't call a country out. I mean, of course, it's a United States matter. We can't possibly do anything about it.
Why we are doing that? Why we are doing it? That because we respect internal boundaries. But
essentially,
anyway, just to add to that, there is an interesting, as you were mentioning, Quatra. The Hindu has brought this. He, however, declined to comment on a report in a Manipur newspaper that said that the government has hired a prominent lobbying firm in Brussels, Alba and Giga, to help with the outreach to MEPs, that is the member of European parliaments, that had reportedly sent a letter on behalf of the Indian government to them. At least 6 of the 8 political groups in the European Parliament who will vote on Thursday after the debate on Wednesday have so far submitted motions for a resolution on India, the situation in Manipur. So I think that is also interesting.
How about let's quickly listen into Vinay Quatra when he addressed the media yesterday, when he spoke about India's stance on this European Union Parliament's proposal to debate Manipur in Brussels. Let's listen in.
Just indulge in a question slightly related to Europe, and that is that on the eve of Prime Minister's visit there, the European Parliament is actually looking at a resolution on Manipur today. I wanted to ask what the Indian response is, and in particular to a news report that says India actually hired a lobby firm in Brussels, I think it's called Alba and Geiger, to try and stop this resolution from being discussed in the Parliament, but this did not go, this was not successful.
On the Manipur question, Suhashini, this is a matter totally internal to India. We are aware of what the Brussels in the Parliament happening, and we have made a reach out to the concerned EU parliamentarians, but we have made it very clear to them this is a matter totally and absolutely internal to India.
Well, so matter totally and absolutely internal to India. Does that mean nobody else can talk about it as well?
See, it's not about they can't talk about it. Of course, they can talk about it. But when you have institutions like European Parliament taking it up, I think they have bigger issues in their backyard to take up than to look at what's happening in India. We are a democracy. We have our own institutions and mechanisms. Our courts are functioning. We have our this thing. We are in fact, as the news entity, we have been highlighting what's happening in Manipur for such a long time. The issue is not that what is right or wrong or what is happening in Manipur. Of course, what's happening in Manipur is an issue that has to be focused on. The issue is the mindset with which they are approaching this, that this pontification is somewhere that needs to be stopped. The sanctimonious attitude saying that we are holier than thou, kind of an attitude. So I think that is something that we need to challenge. And I'm also, it's not to say that the Manipur or what's happening in Manipur shouldn't have make an opinion. Of course, international news also, we also make an opinion out of it. But the fact remains is that we do not impose or try to implement our internal matter on someone else, or try to put our opinion on their internal matters, implement or try to implement it. That is the thing over here. And MEP, when it's discussing something like an issue like Manipur, I think it's not, the Indian Parliament is not discussing about what's happening in the whole of Europe and the kind of problems that Europe are facing. So why have this pontificating attitude towards the world is the issue?
Also, focusing just on Manipur for a little bit, there's a Nagaland subdivision that has barred Aadhaar update for people from Manipur. Now, this is
That's
the
news, in fact,
Medzifema authorities have asked common service centers to not let cookies change Aadhaar address. This is another development. This is being reported by the Hindu on their website. It says the authorities of a subdivision in Nagaland's Chumau Kedima district have instructed the common service center operators not to let cookie people displaced from Manipur change their address in their Aadhaar cards. The Kuki is recognized as one of the 16 tribes of Nagaland, have a larger population in adjoining Manipur. Now, many of them had left Manipur following the ethnic clashes with majority Meitei people that began on the 3rd of May. So, people who've left Manipur and have gone to Nagaland, those people from belonging to the Kuki tribe, this is what, the Hindu has put out. It says the authorities of the subdivision in Nagaland's Chumu Kedima district. Chumu Kedima district have instructed the common service center operators not to let Kuki people displaced from Manipur change their address in their Aadhaar cards.
Well, also I have a story coming in from, since you have taken up the Hindu. The Hindu has also given an anchor story on the front page. It says Manipur police filed criminal case against Meitei organization chief. The Manipur police have registered a criminal case against Meitei Lipun chief Pramod Singh for allegedly promoting enmity between groups, criminal conspiracy and other charges. This is a government source has confirmed that an FIR was registered against Mr. Singh on July 8th at the Kangko Pokpi police station.
Right.
This was based on a complaint by Kuki students organizations. So there is a case filed against a prominent Meitei organization chief as well.
Well, then again, I mean, coming back to the European Parliament debate, when so much is taking place and taking shape here, it is certainly not advisable for other people to start talking about it, certainly. But then a lot of people will again say this is again a bid to, clamp down on, freedom of thought, freedom of expressing, their own freedom of speech. All of that will come into the play as well. Time and again, we've seen, various Western publications who've come out, openly calling out, what India is doing in terms of, human rights. And India has given a stern reply back. I mean, look at how Jaishankar has faced those, questions. Look at how, Arindam Bakshi, Vinay Quatra have, answered back on those questions, saying that, this is an internal matter. And how about you take care of your human right situation first, rather than, coming out and calling out other countries. We're doing the best we can. You pretty much focus on yourself. And like I said before, everybody wants a piece of India, and debating Manipur would certainly, turn their heads, which right now, ladies and gentlemen, is not the right thing to do. The European Union, should it or should it not, debate Manipur is something that I can't give an answer to right now. But certainly what I can say is that, Manipur is a sensitive issue. everybody should hope and pray for peace. And whilst I say that, everybody here at News9, our hearts and prayers and thoughts with those who have lost their loved ones, who are in this perilous state right now. We know a lot of people are in relief centers. They don't have, the kind of life that they envisioned and they were living. That has completely taken a 180-degree turn. A lot of depression, a lot of loss of life, a lot of loss of property, a lot of damage on both sides, not just one side, on both sides. And of course, so much of weapons still with the people, that porous border state, the poppy cultivation, narco-terrorism. I mean, you name it, and that socio-economic fault line exists in Manipur. And to top it all, the cherry on the top, of course, is the fact that there are people in the society, in the state of Manipur, that don't necessarily like their chief minister. So the administration is also allegedly biased.
Well, that has been a debate that's been going on, that's saying that the administration is in fact biased. But again, the issue here would be discussion of Manipur in the European Parliament. Plus, I think we should also understand 3-4 days back, though the US ambassador to India had said that it's an internal matter of India, it was anyway ready to offer some kind of an assistance when it comes to dealing with the situation in Manipur. So I think Manipur has caught the foreign press's attention, but let us categorically reinstate that feeling. Let me tell you that it is an internal matter of the country.